Hey, all right, today we are going to be talking about why stress may be the cause of your derailed health and fitness goals. Now, stress might seem like a high level concept. So when you are feeling overwhelmed, it might not seem like the first place to look or to start growing when you think of health and fitness goals. But I am going to tell you why stress could be the number one reason you're not reaching your goals. So stress is all around us, and we all know it's been exponential in this last year. We have experienced so many stressors between current events, what's going on in the world around us that we cannot control, we're having to work from home, our children being at home more, our spouses being at home more. There are so many things that have stressed us out. And whether you know it or not, it is impacting your body. So our bodies were designed to manage stress. It's how we have survived over all of these years. But it's not the type of stress that we experience now with social media, with constant barrage of news sources. We're always being hit by stressors. And so a lot of times we don't even remember what it feels like just to be relaxed in our bodies. And that is what I want to bring us back to. So the reason that stress is important when you are trying to reach health and fitness goals is because when your body is stressed, when it's in this state of fight or flight, and you can pay attention, we probably don't even notice it anymore in a lot of ways because it has become our new normal, not just because of the past year, but just because of modern life. So our heart rate increasing, our breath being more shallow, that feeling of a chaotic mind. For some people, it even feels like an adrenaline rush. You might not even be doing anything. You might be just sitting in your car or sitting at your computer and you feel this adrenaline surge. Those are some of the physical signs that we're in a state of heightened stress. Stress impacts our ability to digest food. It increases our cortisol level, which is a hormone that is very detrimental to any of our weight loss goals. It impacts our immune system, our ability to work out, our ability to build muscle. There are so many health implications for stress. And I think almost more than those physical things, stress takes up our time. It keeps us distracted from the things that are really important because it feels like there are little fires everywhere, right? We're always putting out fires, whether it's an email, whether it's an emotional response, whether it's a post we just saw, or a news headline that throws us off course. And so eventually what happens is our stress can begin to take the wheel and it can begin to navigate our life. And so we are no longer the boss of our lives, but our stressful thoughts, our stressful feelings, our stressful responses begin to tell us where to go. Now, stress isn't all bad. In fact, stress is really good. Our bodies were given a stress response to protect us. And so really it is our perspective on stress that matters. If we see stress as being this terrible thing in our life, then it's going to affect us in a really negative way. And there's a quote I absolutely love, and it's that fear is excitement without the breath. And I could probably substitute stress. Stress is excitement without the breath. Stress can be a good thing. It can motivate us to seek safety. It can motivate us to change our course. It can motivate us to choose another way, to bring in some healthy habits, to take out the things that are hurting us, to avoid danger. But the problem is we weren't meant to have this barrage of stressors all day long. And so that is why I created this ebook about letting go of stress to create your bliss. And I wish I could think of a better word than bliss because I know that word is overused. But essentially what it means is joy and happiness, bringing joy and happiness back into your life. And one of the best ways to do that is to reconnect to peace and to presence. So all you have is this present moment. It is such a gift. To avoid a cliche, or for lack of using a cliche, I mean, there's no better way to say it. The present moment is such a gift. And so the more we can get into this present moment, the more we can access our peace no matter what is going on around us. It's the only thing we really have control over. And we can access peace even in the midst of chaos the better we're going to feel, the clearer our minds are going to be, the clearer our schedules are going to be, so that we can actually reach our goals. And that, my friends, is the purpose of this ebook. I want you to be able to clear out your life, take a deep breath, feel those good endorphins coming in, feel that peace coming in, so you can see more clearly what you really want in your life. So I'm going to run through these big bullet points just to give you an idea of what they might look like. So the first one is removing stressors from your life. Now, there are a lot of things that we cannot remove, but there are a lot of things we do have control over. So that's why I titled this Removing Unnecessary Stressors. What in your life right now is unnecessary? And I just can't help but go for that first one because it consumes so much of our time, our mind, and our heart, and that is social media. How much time are you spending on social media? And more than anything, be curious as to how it's making you feel. So just pay attention. This is a very simple practice. Before you open that icon on your phone, I want you to pay attention to how you're feeling in your body. Did something stressful just come in that made you pick up your phone and try to distract yourself? Because maybe you should pay attention to that thing and figure out what that is instead of distracting yourself. If you're feeling happy and peaceful, I want you to pay attention to how you feel before you open it and how you feel afterwards. Just be curious. Don't judge yourself. There's no room for shame in our lives. So just be curious on how that makes you feel. Be curious. If your go-to every morning is to read the paper, maybe virtually on your phone or your iPad, or if you get a paper and you find that the negativity and the headlines, and I don't mean for us to have our head in the sand, by all means, we need to know what's going on in current events, but how are your rhythms? Is that the best way to start your day? Have you noticed that certain topics really trigger you and trigger your stress response? Is there a way for you to consume media, maybe from a positive source that still gives you the details, but creates a positive spin on things like The Skim or just other news outlets that maybe aren't so drama or fear-based? There are probably a lot of unnecessary stressors in our lives. This could even mean relationships. Maybe there are some people or encounters you have, maybe it's in your job or at work, where they're just unnecessary encounters that you don't need to have. And maybe if you have healthier boundaries, you can avoid these unnecessary stressors. So this is super individual. One person might be able to be on social media every day. For me, I'm pretty tender, and so it's a tricky place for me to be, and I really try to limit my time. So just be honest with yourself. Don't look at the people around you. Just assess your own life and figure out what are the unnecessary stressors in your own life. And then number 2, after we've removed unnecessary stressors, we're gonna add in some proven ways to feel good and to feel calmer inside. And I'm giving you 3 suggestions. You don't have to do all 3, just pick one. The 3 suggestions are, well, I think that everyone should do this one, is move every day. Getting outside, being in sunlight, being in nature, being around trees, it's highly proven to bring down our cortisol levels, to increase our serotonin, our feel-good hormones, and to help us be calm. If you want to take it up to the next level, you can try only breathing through your nose. Maybe you just try to do this for a few steps every walk. But when we take deep breaths through our nose, when we gently try to send that breath down into our bellies, we immediately create a deeper sense of calm. So try that on your next walk. Try to move every day. Our second one is meditation. We just can't avoid it. It's everywhere. Meditating is so good for us. And if you are like me and you feel like a failure in your time of meditation because your mind constantly wanders, I heard the best quote the other day in a podcast, and he was saying that every time you return to your breath, every time you return to your word or your mantra or whatever you've chosen to lightly bring your intention to during your meditation, it's like doing a rep in your workout. And so now I celebrate every time my mind wanders. I celebrate it because it gives me that opportunity to do another rep and return to my word or return to my breath. Meditation, it's not about that time, your 10 minutes or your 20 minutes of sitting in silence and peace. It's about the way it is accessing that calm for you later in the day. So then when you come to a stressful moment, you've already practiced. You know how to get back. When you feel yourself kind of mounting up, when you feel your heart rate starting to go up, you're comfortable because you know how to get back to that sacred space that you were in your meditation. It is so powerful. So I promise, even if you just start with 5 minutes a day, this is such a powerful practice. And then the third suggestion that I give you is breath work. We kind of talked about that in moving every day, but breath work is so important. You can just breathing into your belly brings about so much calm. And there are other little practices. Maybe right before your workout, you can practice box breathing where you breathe in maybe for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And then you hold that breath for 1, 2, 3. And then you breathe out for 1, 2, 3. And then you hold it again for 1, 2, 3. And maybe you repeat that 10 times. And just bringing about that sense of calm, maybe before a meeting that's going to be stressful, or maybe after a stressful phone call, you return to that box breathing, or you can do the nasal breathing, trying to breathe through your nose. There are so many great breathing practices. There are so many great breathing books out there. If you want more, I have a free PDF on breath work that gives you some really simple exercises that I can send to you. Just let me know. But breathing is so important. Every time that we increase our oxygen supply, it's just going to increase that calm. It's going to do so many great things for our bodies. Those are 3 simple activities you can bring into your life. Just try one to reduce your stress and to increase your calm. And then next, we're going to go into supplements that help your body during stressful seasons, to help your body. Your body has a natural response for stress. Your body is so amazing. It knows exactly what to do. But again, like we talked about, it's not meant to be under a constant state of stress. So there are some really simple supplements. I'm not a super, I would really rather do some lifestyle changes before we throw on a ton, but maybe just try one thing. If you're really having a difficult time managing stress, maybe just trying one thing. So I'm going to run through my favorite supplements. B vitamins are fantastic. So we tend to be depleted in B vitamins when we're stressed out. So B vitamins are water soluble, which means your body flushes out excess B vitamins. So they're a great supplement. Most B vitamin complexes are actually called Stress B. It's very easy to find a Stress B complex. Usually at Whole Foods, or here in Austin, we have Alive and Well, or even on Amazon. You just want to watch out with your supplements because it's not a regulated industry, that you are buying from a company that you can trust. And in this PDF, I've given you an example of one of my favorites. Standard Process has really rich supplements. They are super high quality, and their Stress B is amazing. It's called Cataplex B. It's incredible, but there are tons of great vitamin B complexes out there. The second one is an adaptogenic herb called ashwagandha. That sounds like a mouthful, but what an adaptogenic herb is basically an herb that allows your body to adapt to whatever life throws at you. So if you are in a heightened state, it helps to bring you down. And if you're in a sluggish state, it helps to bring you up a little. Ashwagandha is super ancient. Tons of research has been done. It's used in a lot of different cultures, and it is one I really highly recommend. I take it every day. It's amazing. I've had multiple health practitioners recommend it to me, and different things that I've encountered in my own life right now in this postpartum period. Don't take my word for it. Talk to your own healthcare practitioner. But ashwagandha is a great, great supplement. In the same vein, rhodiola is another fantastic adaptogenic herb, and that's linked in this PDF also. Then magnesium. We all, especially women, tend to be low in magnesium. Magnesium is less available in the soil than it used to be. We're probably not eating as many green leafy vegetables as we did in the past. Side note, include some more green leafy vegetables in your life for sure. But magnesium is a very easy supplement to add in. One of my favorite forms of magnesium is in the supplement Calm, which is a fizzy drink you take right before bedtime, and it really helps you to relax. It's great for your muscles, and it can really help you fall asleep. So magnesium is another fantastic supplement for stress. And then last of all, L-theanine, which is an amino acid that is another very natural source that just brings you down. It increases calm without making you feel drowsy or sluggish. And that's also linked to my favorite one in this PDF. So hopefully that's super easy to find. And then that next area after supplements, I want you to be thinking about connection in your life. This has been a tough year because even if you're still Zooming or FaceTiming your loved ones, we're just not connecting the same way we used to the same degree. It takes an extra effort. And when you're stressed out, when you're anxious, when you're depressed, it can be a little harder to reach out to the people that we love. And so I want you to take an extra effort, whether it's calling a best friend every Friday or setting up a Zoom meeting with your family, or who are the people in your life that you can be real and authentic with about stress in your life or about some heavy feelings or about whatever is going on in your world. Reach out to those people, and more than likely, they're feeling the same way. That is the one unique thing about this season, is that we are collectively experiencing so many of these stressors. That reaching out, forming a community, maybe reading a book virtually with a group of friends. If you feel comfortable going for walks with people, like whatever you feel comfortable doing, whatever is safe for you. But we know that virtual contact is safe, and it's kind of exciting because it has allowed us to regain contact with some of the friends that are miles and miles away. Zoom, FaceTime, all these things that we're using more regularly has opened up opportunity. But if you can create moments that are comfortable to be in person, that is fantastic too. Whatever you do, just reach out and stay connected to the people who love you, and take a risk of being honest and vulnerable about what is really going on in your life. Okay, after connection, we're going to talk about gratitude. I've got two more for you. Gratitude is another very scientifically proven way of lowering your stress, increasing your serotonin, just making you an overall happier, more successful, more productive person. But I want to tell you a secret about gratitude. So for a long time, I tried to do gratitude lists and they just weren't doing anything for me. And so I kind of gave it up. And then this year, I started doing the Future Self Journal by Dr. Nicole LaPera, who's incredible. She goes by the tag, the holistic psychologist on Instagram. I don't think it's a tag. I don't know what it is. But anyway, that's her name on Instagram. But in the Future Self Journal, she has a gratitude piece worked into it. And the difference and the secret that I've found is that when you're going through your gratitude practice, it is really important, even if it means just doing one or two things, to really sink in deeply into the thing that you're grateful for. So if you're grateful for your hot coffee, I want you to really think about it. I want you to think about the feeling of the cup in your hand. I want you to think about the feeling of your favorite creamer in there and the richness of the coffee and sitting in the quietness of a brand new day. And what does that feel like? Research has shown that when we mentally revisit something that brought us joy and happiness, our bodies actually create those happy hormones. So whether it's a vacation, if you picture yourself sitting on the beach, your body is able to create those same chemicals that you experienced when you were in that moment, again, as you reflect back on that. And that is why it is so important. If you are grateful for a relationship, for a spouse, feeling that big hug, or a child, feel their hand in your hand. Think about their laughter and the things that they do that make them so special to you. Really let yourself sink into it. Be creative. The simplest things, especially these days, have we not learned? The simplest things we can be grateful for. So gratitude practice can really be a super powerful and magical piece. And it's something you can work right into that morning routine. It only takes 5 minutes, but it can make a huge difference on your day. And I don't do this, but I bet if you bookend on the front of your day and then revisiting that on the back end of your day as you're falling asleep and reconnecting to those happy feelings, those happy chemicals, those peaceful chemicals that can allow us to fall asleep. And then last but not least, it's just the reminder that nothing is forever. This too shall pass. And that's one of the reasons I do like to disconnect from media a bit, because just a lot of the fear narrative that goes on. And the minute we feel like we're across something, there's a new thing to be worried about. You know, we have survived for a long, long time as human beings. And this year has been extra magical having a baby and just realizing all that goes into having a baby and knowing that human beings have been having babies, you know, in the wilderness for a long, long time. And we are resilient. We are an amazing species. and that this too shall pass. Nothing is forever. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, just reminding yourself of that truth and breathing in deeply into that and learning that even an emotion, a negative emotion, whether it's fear, anxiety, jealousy, nothing lasts forever. And in this PDF, I have a video. It's an amazing talk. It's 10 minutes by Dr. Joan Rosenberg. And she explains to you about surfing the waves of your emotions. And I know a lot of times, a lot of us have been afraid to feel some of these negative emotions. They're scary and they can feel overwhelming. But the more we lean into it and let the emotion pass and don't try to distract it through social media or alcohol or grabbing, sugar or just something that kind of distracts us from it, just breathing into it, thinking about it as a wave. I grew up at the beach. I love riding the waves. Love. Me and my grandma used to just go out into the ocean and the feeling when you're just out there and the big wave comes, but it's just pulling you up and bringing you back down. And think about that. Think about riding that emotion up and then letting it bring you back down and breathing into it and just letting it pass. And don't be afraid of it. We are all in this together. I'm in this with you. I am learning how to lean into my body. I'm learning how to manage stress better because I want to be present. Life is just too beautiful. It's too magical. It's too amazing to let stress distract us from the things that really matter. So I hope that this PDF is helpful for you. Will you share it with someone that you love? Maybe you can do this together. Maybe you can both keep each other accountable, pick a habit or two that you want to implement. Maybe it's something you do together. Maybe walking once a week or connecting virtually once a week or, meditating together. Find a friend, do this with them, and then let me know what you loved, what worked for you. And if there's something that I missed, I would love to hear what's working for you in managing stress. Remember, don't be afraid of stress. It truly can serve you. Listen to it, pay attention to it, and then use these amazing tools. Simplify your life. You are amazing. Take the time to do this. I am so grateful to be a part of your world. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for being with me. Bye.